Picture this, you've had your iPhone 16 Pro Max for nearly 2 years. It still runs fast, the camera is still good. So you're sitting there asking yourself, is the iPhone 18 Pro Max actually worth it? Here's the thing, the answer depends entirely on one upgrade that almost every rumor piece is getting completely wrong. It's not the chip, it's not the camera, and it's not the dynamic island, although that one is genuinely wild. I'll get to the real story in a minute. But first, let me show you what Apple is actually building here, because this is not a normal tick up iPhone cycle. The iPhone 18 Pro Max hasn't launched yet. Apple hasn't announced a single thing officially, but the supply chain leaks, analyst notes, and display industry reports have been unusually consistent this cycle, which means we have a clearer picture than we normally do at this stage. So this isn't speculation padded with maybe and might. This is the most credible picture of what's coming in September 2026. And there are three things about this phone that I think are genuinely going to change how people use their iPhones. One of them is the camera, one of them is under the display, and one of them is a feature that sounds boring until you realize what it actually means for your everyday life. Let's start with the engine. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to run on the A20 Pro, Apple's first chip built on a 2 nanometer process. The current iPhone 17 Pro Max runs a 3 nanometer A19 Pro. The jump from 3 nanometers to 2 nanometers is not just a number getting smaller. It means the transistors are more tightly packed, the chip runs cooler, and it does more work while drawing less power. Early estimates put performance gains at around 15% over the A19 Pro, which, look, 15% doesn't sound like a revolution, but here's what that actually means in practice. The things that used to make your phone pause, like heavy video export, real-time processing, multi-app switching, they don't pause anymore. It's like the difference between a door that opens and a door that was never there. And the efficiency gains matter more than the speed number, because a chip that runs cooler and draws less power feeds directly into something more interesting: the battery. We'll get to that. Okay, the dynamic island. For 2 years, we've had this black pill at the top of the screen. Some people love it, some people tolerate it. I personally use it for nothing except accidentally triggering it when I'm trying to tap the time. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is reportedly getting a significantly smaller dynamic island because parts of the Face ID sensor are moving under the display, specifically the infrared sensor. Reports suggest the pill cutout could shrink from around 20 millimeters wide on the iPhone 17 Pro to closer to 13 millimeters on the 18 Pro. That's almost a 35% size reduction. In real life, more screen, less pill, less accidental tap rage, and the display itself is getting a new panel technology called LTPO+. Without going too deep into the acronym, it gives the phone finer control over how much power the screen uses at any given moment. More efficient, more responsive, and in combination with the A20 Pro chip, this is where the battery story starts to make a lot more sense. Here it is. The thing I said we'd get to. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is rumored to carry a battery over 5,000 milliamp hours. Some reports say 5,200. For context, the iPhone 17 Pro Max shipped with a battery in the 4,685 milliamp hour range. That's not a small jump. Combine that with the more efficient A20 Pro chip built on 2 nanometers and the new LTPO Plus display panel running smarter than anything Apple has shipped before, and you have a phone that could genuinely redefine what iPhone battery life means. Not pretty good for an iPhone. Actually good. Full stop. The kind of good where you stop thinking about battery life entirely, and that not the chip benchmark, not the camera megapixel count, is the upgrade that changes how you actually live with this phone every single day. Now, the camera, because this one is actually wild. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to be the first iPhone with a variable aperture main camera. Let me explain what that actually means, because most coverage glosses over it. On every iPhone that exists right now, the aperture is fixed. The lens opens to one size. That's it. Variable aperture means the lens physically adjusts how wide it opens, like your eye does when you walk from a dark room into sunlight. In bright light, narrower aperture, sharper edges, more depth of field. In low light, wider aperture, more light hits the sensor, better photo. No software guessing, no computational compromise, actual physics doing the work. This is the kind of camera technology you see on professional cameras. Samsung has experimented with it. Apple has reportedly been developing it for years, and multiple leaks this cycle have corroborated it specifically for the 18 Pro Max. If it ships the way it's rumored, and the consistency of the leaks says it probably will, this is the most meaningful camera upgrade Apple has delivered since the tetraprism telephoto. One more thing, and this one is genuinely underrated in the conversation. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to debut Apple's C2 modem, Apple's own chip, no more Qualcomm. The C2 is rumored to support millimeter wave 5G, which means the fastest tier of 5G that exists right now. But here's what's actually interesting. The C2 modem is also expected to support 5G satellite connectivity, not emergency satellite, not text someone if you're lost in the woods satellite, full internet access over satellite. Amazon, which recently acquired Globalstar, is reportedly the infrastructure partner. Think about what that means. Dead zones, remote areas, weak carrier coverage. The iPhone 18 Pro Max could route around all of it. That's not a spec, that's infrastructure. So, should you upgrade? Here's my honest read. If you're on an iPhone 15 Pro Max or older, yes, the combination of the A20 Pro chip, the new display, the variable aperture camera, and a battery that finally matches the Pro Max name makes this the most compelling upgrade in 3 or 4 cycles. If you're on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, it's closer. The camera is the swing factor. If you shoot a lot, especially in low light, the variable aperture alone might be worth it. If you don't, the 16 Pro Max is still a great phone, and it's getting iOS 27 anyway. If you're on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, honestly, wait. The chip is faster, the battery is bigger, but you already have 12 gigabytes of RAM, a great display, and a camera system that isn't holding you back. 1 year is not enough to feel this jump. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to be the version of the Pro Max that actually delivers on what the name has been promising for years. A phone that's fast, a camera system that does something genuinely new, and a battery that just doesn't run out. That's not marketing. That's the first time in a while those 3 things have been true at the same time. I'll be testing it the day it ships, and I already have one test in mind that no other review is going to run. Stay close.